Welcome to a dramatic audio presentation of the Stephen Less Studio, starring Steve Callahan, Summera Howell, Ulka Simone Mohanty, Richard Clarke Larsen, June Pesky, and Anthony Sherritt in Fumes, written and directed by Stephen Less.
You can hammer with anything. You don't need a hammer to hammer. And you can hammer on anything too, doesn't it? Ow.
What happened?
I dropped the wrench on my nose.
Come out of there.
I'm all right. Done it plenty of times. Nothing to me.
Same here.
I mean, nothing new to me. That's the thing about being a plumber. There's never anything new. Being a painter must be different.
No, there are a lot of repetitive tasks, but I find them to be meditative.
Meditative.
So what's the problem?
It just hurts, that's all. I don't think it will leave a scar.
A scar?
I could try to think of hitting my nose on a wrench as meditative, I guess. Oh, damaged and defective O-ring.
Can I still use the sink?
Yes, but only once a day.
Do you want a beer?
Sure, why not?
Here.
It's quitting time.
Sure thing.
Must be.
Cheers.
Is that what you're working on now?
Yeah.
I like it.
What do you know about high art?
Well, I mean, it's a good start on something, right? For a start.
My work is trash.
But you love to paint.
The world is where my head should be. I mean, I do. I love to paint more than anything in the world, but I'd rather hate painting and do it well than love it the way I do and be mediocre at it.
How do you know you're not good?
Mediocre.
Yeah, mediocre.
People who are mediocre know they are mediocre.
If you are so convinced that you are mediocre, why are your paintings so big? You could save a lot of paint if your paintings were small. Like this, maybe. This big.
I thought that if I made my paintings big enough, then people wouldn't believe their eyes that it could be mediocre work. It would overwhelm and engulf them, and they would forget that it doesn't really mean anything. That it can't help them, not even a little bit.
It must mean something.
That it can't help them, not even a little bit.
Why would you do it otherwise?
I'm a screwball. Behind the 8-ball, in front of an oddball.
I don't think I'm that odd. Not like you.
Thanks.
Thanks to my mom. My mom wanted me to be a plumber, so I became one. Now I have everything in the world that I want. 2 jet skis, 2 snowmobiles, 2 motorcycles, 2 hot rods, 2 houses, 2 dogs, 2 cats, a pool table.
1 pool table?
I burned the other one up one night in October.
Your mother must be proud.
She died before I became a journeyman. But yeah, it's what she wanted.
2 girlfriends?
2.5.
One's really tall.
Well, I have to look up.
My mother wanted me to be a nurse or a teacher, but my parents paid for my art school education all the way through, and they have supported me for a long time. All the time keeping at me about becoming a nurse, just so I have something to fall back on. So I took philosophy classes to have something to fall back on.
But you sell your paintings, don't you?
Yes, I do. But really, I want to make a difference to someone. I want to matter to someone. I want people to come see my work because it makes them feel less lonely, because it makes them feel that they belong, because it gives them a reason not to kill themselves.
Are they expensive?
More than you can imagine.
That's good.
Very good. It pays for the cat food.
Do you have a cat?
No, now that you mention it. That showed I'm depressed and sad, but I don't know.
Do you hear voices?
Voices? Yes, but if I look around and there's no one there, I don't pay attention to them.
Oh.
Anyway, it's always some kind of mumbo-jumbo or claptrap or similar nonsense. Malarkey, that sort of thing.
That's okay then. Loose lips sink ships. Do you think that's so?
Sounds plausible.
I like seeing what you've been working on. It makes me feel peaceful. Things don't seem as bad as before. It makes a big difference to my life. My inner life. In the secret place.
Well, okay. Thanks for the compliments anyway. But this is what mediocre art looks like. So be careful. Watch your step, keep your head down, wear your protective glasses.
Oh, hi.
He's a plumber.
I didn't expect you to be here.
Oh, yes, I'm here. But where is another question entirely. You got groceries?
A few things.
Let me see. Whipped cream, extra creamy, marshmallows, cat food.
What do you like better, marshmallows or whipped cream? Come on, it's a yes or no question.
It's not a yes or no question.
Yes, it is. It's either marshmallows or whipped cream. There's no other choice.
That's not a yes or no question. A yes or no question is when the answer is
Either one or the other.
no. It's when the answer is
Black or white.
no. Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
I have a yes or no question for you. What's more important to you, art or love?
That's not a yes or no question either.
Oh, yes, it is.
The answer to a yes or no question has to be yes or no.
Yes, like black or white. No gray.
No gray.
No gray.
I never knew anyone who ate whipped cream right out of the can. Not for a meal, anyway. All you eat is whipped cream. You don't even use a spoon.
Whoever heard of eating a bowl of whipped cream with a spoon?
And marshmallows right out of the bag.
How else can you eat marshmallows? Otherwise, you'd have to somehow get into the bag to eat them, since they're in the bag. That's how they come from the store. Anyway, it's better than having chocolate stains all over your dress.
Maybe.
I never met a painter that didn't know how to paint. And this thing about red and green making yellow, that doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to work.
How can something work and not make sense? Anyway, yellow paint is the most toxic color there is. I bet you didn't even know that. It's the color of choice for anyone into huffing paint fumes.
Do you really think you can live here?
I usually end up living wherever I am. But I'm done living where I am. I'm going to live somewhere else.
Somewhere you are not.
You said it, brother.
I have to get an O-ring from the truck.
And I won't feel bad about it either.
I have O-rings in my toolkit, but there are so many different sizes and styles, not to mention materials,
How many real artists did you know in St. Paul?
all for different purposes. Be right back.
None. And I don't know any in Seattle.
Oh, that's right. I'm not
But
real.
in St. Paul, there was my art teacher when I was in elementary school. But she killed herself. I mean, she tried to kill herself. Then she disappeared. She was nice. She was a hippie, I guess. Miss Wannabe, we used to call her. She was from Detroit.
My work is brilliant, and someday you'll realize it.
You mean like Douglas?
Yes.
I can't stand these paint fumes.
I told you when you were thinking of moving in that there would be paint
I
fumes.
know, but I didn't think...
You said it would be romantic to live with an artist in Seattle.
That's what I thought, but...
And you really like the north light coming through the blah blah windows.
Well, I do. It's true. But if I have to wear a gas mask every day, do you know what I mean?
Well, for a girl from the backwoods in Minnesota, it must...
I'm not from the backwoods.
St. Paul.
St. Paul is not the backwoods. We have traffic too. Only we don't call it traffic.
So, is it romantic to live with a painter in Seattle? Or isn't it?
Yes, it's romantic, okay? It's romantic. It's just that you should have told me about the gas mask.
These are all organic, non-toxic paints that I
Well, you
use.
could have fooled me. They don't smell organic or non-toxic.
Anyway, I find toxic fumes comforting, not intoxicating. They're only toxic if you want them to be.
But I didn't realize at the time that I moved in that you don't know how to paint.
I know how to paint. My work means something to millions of people, or it will. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, in the 21st century, you'll be discovered.
This is the 21st century, and I'll be discovered, lauded, awarded, and driven crazy with fame and sex and power and money. Power and money.
I'm in the 22nd century.
Centuries. One more or less don't matter to me. Time doesn't exist. I hate it anyway. Anyway.
It must be hard to be so misunderstood, so special.
So many people, artists, musicians, filmmakers, they kept me alive. They gave me something to live for.
Like who?
Like who? I don't know. Lou Reed.
Who's that?
What?
I said, who is that?
For the purpose of this conversation, it apparently doesn't matter. You asked me, and I told you. That's all.
Okay, Lou Reed. He kept you alive.
Yes, unlike Christopher Cross, who made me want to kill myself. Anyway, all these people helped me so much. And the reason I paint is so I can help someone else the same way they helped me. That means I can't compromise my work for any reason. Money, fame, rules, good taste, nothing. I have to remain true to my vision. And I am true to my vision. And that's what makes my work so valuable, so good, so meaningful. It gives the right person who sees it hope. That's how I know that my paintings are good and that I am a good artist. I am not mediocre.
Yeah, but I didn't say you were mediocre.
I don't care what you didn't say. I'm not mediocre. In fact, as soon as I'm discovered, you will be able to come visit me in my big house, but you won't be able to stay overnight. That's only for people that believed in me.
Like Mr. D?
Yes.
But he only buys your paintings because you have sex with him. And he's in love with you, and you lead him on.
I'm in love with him too.
Really?
Yes, really.
Even if that was true, that makes it all right?
What all right?
The fact that he's buying your paintings from you in exchange for sex. And he's 30 years older than you. Know what I mean?
First of all, I'm in love with him, and he's in love with me. We're going to get married. Second, he knows my work is good and valuable, and even if he doesn't have much money, he pays me what he can, and it keeps me in this loft, and it allows me to paint.
Barely.
To paint. I just love the way he ties his shoes. So deft. So sure of himself. He's just so competent. He just does it so deliberately. Not casually, like a younger person does. He puts everything into it. You can tell. The focus and concentration, not a gesture wasted. You don't know what he's been through. He grew up before anything was digital. I mean, winding his watch every single day. Pen and paper. Needles on records. He had to get to the bank before it closed at 3. Carrying money around everywhere. Sticking your fingers into the telephone dials. Having to remember everyone's phone number. Phone booths. Licking stamps with your tongue. Dude, that's a lot of pressure to grow up under. I mean, if he forgot to wind his watch, and now I get to watch him wind his watch right there in front of me. All I need is a rich person who sees that my work is good and who will pay a lot of money for it.
And then you can have sex with that person? Or you can fall in love with that person? Don't you see it's all mixed up? You can't have sex with everyone who likes or buys your paintings.
Well, for now, I can.
That's true. Then it's lucky you have Mr. D in your life.
Oh, Douglas is supposed to have been here for 15 minutes. I wonder why he's so late. I've got to dress.
What for? You're going to be naked 2 minutes after Mr. D gets here anyway.
Don't call him Mr. D. He doesn't like that.
Hello? He's not here.
Anyway, you don't know what I wear when you're not around to see.
What? Do you have a nurse's outfit in your closet? Leather, vinyl, horsehair? How about a cop? Wonder Woman?
You just don't know.
And I hope I never get a chance to find out. You know what I mean?
There he is. I'm going to my room to change. Let him in. Be agreeable.
I'll try. She's getting ready for you. You're late.
Oh, I was winding my watch and I lost track of time. Then I had to walk around the construction area to get here. How are you?
What do you mean?
I mean, after everything you've been through.
What have I been through?
Well, nobody knows better than you.
But I'm asking you.
I don't think it's a fair question. I mean, no matter what I say, I'll be wrong.
That doesn't mean it's not a fair question. It just means you're wrong.
Put yourself in my place. Well?
I'm fine, except... What's that smell?
What smell? I don't... Oh, the toxic paint fumes?
No, worse.
Oh, then it must be my new cologne. Tang of burning timber.
It smells more like a scent of dead dog.
That's how much you know about men's cologne.
It's these paint fumes. I can't tell one from the other anymore. They both smell the same to me.
I'm tired of this. Selling fake Bibles was...
The plumber's here.
Oh.
I'll see you later.
Okay.
I'm going to my room. Have a good time, Mr. D. It must be such a strain for you.
Here I am.
Whoa. Let me look. Turn around. Nice. Good choice.
I thought you'd be in the mood since you took your wife to the ballet last night.
You were right again.
What's that?
This.
Chocolates? So old school.
Come here.
Whoa.
Ah.
That's nice.
Why don't you douse the lights?
Okay. How's that?
How long are they going to be building that building? I mean, it's annoying. That's just great. Whoa. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Yeah. This is when I miss smoking most. How was that for you?
That was worth it.
I hope so. Oh,
You know,
I wanted to show you something I just finished.
I saw you walking naked through the Church of Dreams last night, and I wondered what you were doing there. Do you have any explanation?
I don't have to explain anything to you. You mean in the dead of night?
No, I mean in the Edward Hopper painting.
That's what I meant. Didn't you think I knew that's what you meant? Yes, I knew.
It almost makes me feel holy to love you this much. I feel alive only because of the way I love you. More alive than I could ever feel without you to love.
How does that song go? I love you something.
I can't believe something so tragic is happening to me. That's what I have deep inside of me, my love for you. That's what makes me worthwhile. It's what I'm made of. That I can love you this much is the highest achievement of my life. I'm a whole person with a whole life and part of a whole world because you love me.
Whenever I catch you out of the corner of my eye, you seem to be loving me.
I remember how it used to be. I would find someone as miserable as me and maybe even miserable in almost the same way. For the same reasons. We take drugs, drink, go to rock and roll shows, and have sex. And for a couple of weeks, I wasn't alone. And that relief, that magic, what seems like magic and otherworldly is just so wonderful. And she's gone. While I'm gone. That was the 70s. Everyone in my high school class did better than me. The most successful guy was one of the people on Symphony for the Devil who went, woo, woo. That was the pinnacle of his career and his life. I mean, but still, that was actually pretty good. Now he plays Sympathy for the Devil over and over again in his basement and drinks beer and goes, woo, woo, in time with the music. But his mother likes the song, so it's okay. He's worn out a lot of records since the 70s and a lot of record needles. And the neighbors moved out because they got tired of hearing the song. But the police put up with it, for the most part, because his brother is on the force. But his brother is retiring soon, so we'll have to see what happens. I mean, it's not like he's a Satanist. He went through that phase like most people. But he did it without killing any cats. Although he did have a black cat. But that was more because he liked Bela Lugosi and Karloff.
What was the cat's name?
I don't remember. Something to do with someone in the movie. Nerak. Karen spelled backward.
What movie?
The black cat. I thought that's what we were talking about.
Wait a second.
Isn't that what we were talking about?
I don't want to say anything stupid.
How do you keep from saying something stupid? I've been trying to figure that out for a long time. Tell me how to do it.
I have a new painting.
I'd love to see it. How much do you want for it?
The usual.
Oh, that's bright. Let me put my shirt on. I don't want you to see my pot belly.
You don't have it?
I have part of it. I'll have more money once the kids get through with college.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. Here's a yard. I'll give you the other 100 next time.
C-note? Don't you have anything smaller?
Nope.
I'm working on a big painting now.
Oh, well.
That will be more.
All right. That's all right. The yellow one?
No. That one's not done. This one.
Thanks. Well, I gotta go. I mean, the wife is expecting me home for dinner.
Sure. It's upside down. Here.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for the painting. I love it.
That's fine.
Really nice.
You buy my art just so you can have sex with me.
I don't care about your art. I just love you.
I was hoping you buy my art just so you can have sex with me.
No, that's not why.
Chocolates. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. 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 I can't do this anymore. I can't.
Is he gone?
Yes. Gone. I can't do it to him anymore. He loves me too much. I can see it in his eyes how much he loves me, especially when I'm not looking at him, or when he's not looking at me, when we're both looking somewhere else, I guess. Looking at something else. Something else.
You sound like you're at a funeral.
I have to get a job. Do you think there are any openings at your plant? Maybe I can paint at night.
My plant?
Your factory, where you work every day.
Wait a minute. What happened? You don't belong in a factory making mint julep pencil holders all day?
I just can't do it anymore, that's all.
Do what?
Have sex with Douglas so that he buys my paintings. Except that's not why he buys my paintings.
Why does he buy your paintings?
For a much more nefarious reason.
Nefarious? Come on, like what?
Love.
Oh, yeah. I thought that you two were in love. Wasn't he going to divorce his wife?
What do I know about reality? Yes, that's what he said.
I know you have to keep it up. Maybe he would buy them even if you didn't have sex with him. Anyway, I know reality like the back of my hand, especially compared to you.
Maybe. But he buys them because he loves me. Can't you see what is behind all this? What's really going on here?
No.
Well, whatever it is, it's not right. Trading in on someone's love just to make an honest buck.
Well, I don't know. How are you going to live if you don't sell your paintings to him? Painting is your life. You've got to paint. No one knows that better than you.
Yes.
Don't you love Douglas? You said you loved him. I thought that's why you were having sex with him. You know, sex, love, they sometimes go together like that.
Haley, he's 30 years older than me. He's bald. He has a pot belly. He's married. He's got 2 kids, not much younger than me. I mean, look at him. And look at me. Are you serious? I'm just taking advantage of him. It's not right. He slaves in his little cubicle all day just so he can spend a few hours with me. With me.
I'm just going by what you told me. You said you loved him and that you were happy with him. Pardon me for believing you. I mean, he's really not a bad guy. For someone of a certain generation. Another generation entirely. And bald. And with a pot belly. And not even a great generation. A mediocre generation.
Yes, mediocre.
Well, at least you believe in your work. Even if no one else does.
Not even you.
What do I know? I know as much as a plumber about art, really.
I did believe in it. I remember believing in it.
Couldn't you fool yourself just a little longer? Self-deception is an artist's best friend.
Where did you get that?
How else could it be? And you're so good at it. I've seen the heights of self-deception at which you can soar. It's stratospheric. It's atmospheric. Know what I mean?
It's just no good anymore. My work is trash. My work is trash. My work is trash. My work is trash. I know how to paint very well. My work means something to millions of people. It will. I know how to paint very well. It will.
It must mean something.
My work means something to millions of people.
Something.
My work means something. My work means something. My work means something.
I never met a painter that didn't know how to paint.
My work is trash. My work is trash. My work is trash. spend all of my time doing things that aren't important, and everything that's important makes me cry.
Come on, Holly. You can do it. Here, take this brush. Here, take it in your hand. Oh, come on. How long are you going to be this way? Look, I mixed up some paint for you. Isn't it pretty?
I only have 3 problems with life: space and time. You only have this moment in which to live, they say. They say that right now is all that matters. Here and now. Here and now.
Watch out!
Here and now.
That kind of stuff drives people crazy. It would help if you practice mental hygiene more. You might be thinking without realizing it. Your thoughts could be on the very surface of your subconscious.
Here and now.
If the future really seems that uncertain to you, there's probably a vitamin or superfood for that. Or you could try some GMOs. Or microplastics. I don't know. I'm not a nutritionist.
Do you have any whipped cream left?
No, you finished that yesterday. I don't have any more money to buy more. You have to paint so you can sell a painting to Mr. D, and then I can go out and get more whipped cream. Extra creamy. Just a second.
Any change?
No, she's running on fumes. And I don't mean paint fumes.
It's Douglas. Don't you want to paint? Even a little painting? Teeny weeny painting?
A teeny weeny little teeny weeny painting.
Shut up. I'm trying to avoid an intervention.
You mean Mr. Trouble?
Exactly what I mean. He wants to protect his investment.
We can't trouble Mr. Trouble about this.
He's already troubled in more ways than one. Better pick up all those whipped cream cans for Mr. Trouble season.
The only thing she's talked about for the 2 months is whipped cream. More whipped cream, more whipped cream. How could anyone paint with that much whipped cream in them? Mr. Trouble? Really?
Holly, baby, it's really important that you paint. You have to make art. It's important. Your work is important.
You only buy my paintings in exchange for sex.
That's not true. You know how I feel about you. I mean your art. I mean you.
You don't believe in my talent any more than Haley or anyone. I can't have sex with everyone who buys my paintings. I don't think. It's not sustainable.
Right now you can, and I love you.
Yeah. And with that and a nickel, you can play a song on the jukebox. I mean, if there was a time warp.
Whenever she doesn't understand something, she figures it must be a time warp in action. That explanation always makes sense to her.
Possible. I read about it in Popular Science.
She doesn't buy it anymore. That's obvious.
That's ridiculous.
Her subscription expired.
Her subscription to Popular Science?
Her subscription to reality.
Wait a minute, how do you two know each other?
Huh?
What?
What?
How do we know each other? You introduced us.
Right. I thought you didn't like each other. Wait.
Us? We don't, right?
Right.
Haley resents me because you and I have such a great relationship and she doesn't have anyone.
Oh, that's right. Now I remember.
Oh, yeah? Well, I went out on a date.
What? When?
The other night. This guy was all right. He was cute.
When was the other night?
Not this one and not that one. The other one.
I suppose he made you breakfast?
How would you know? You couldn't cook an egg if it was standing on a street corner whistling the Star-Spangled Banner.
I'm confused.
That's because you haven't painted for 2 months, baby. You're not yourself.
He was very religious. All he talked about all night was how God answers all his prayers. All he has to do is pray for something. Like a car or yacht or house or youth, good looks, anything. And he gets it.
That's pretty good.
I thought so. Really good. Of course, eventually he has to pay it all back. Very precise accounts are being kept, apparently. And in 25 years, it all comes due.
How will he ever settle his account?
He's not worried about it because it's so far into the future.
Are you sure it's God that's doing all this for him?
Who else has that kind of power?
If I were you, I'd make sure about it before spending too much time with him.
That's great, coming from you.
Well, I don't have any other ideas.
Neither do I. The only thing about this guy was that he liked to interlard his dinner conversation with the parlance of a surrealist.
I don't have any idea either. I never did. Must be the end of the scene.
Maybe we should try harder.
I'm going out for cigarettes.
No, don't.
There's no other way. We're not making a dent. Anyway, he's double parked.
You've got to paint. You've just got to.
Nobody cares.
We care. We care. I'll give you one more chance. Take this brush. Take it.
If I come in here, it won't be pleasant.
Whatever you say, Mr. Trouble. You're the boss.
Where is she? You shut the door on Cuddles.
Sorry, Mr. Trouble. Sorry, Cuddles.
Darling, I don't think I like this gentleman.
You look younger than ever, Mr. Trouble.
That's the least the devil could do for me, after all I've done for him.
You look different somehow, Mr. Trouble.
Isn't it beautiful? It's the most beautiful nose I've ever had.
Look, Dougie.
I don't see anything.
You can't see my nose? It's right here.
I mean,
Don't touch it.
I don't see a difference.
There better be a difference. I paid enough for it.
Yes, sweetie, there is a difference.
It's right there. See?
I can see your nose.
Don't touch it.
I needed somewhere to be, Holly. Thanks for that.
Are you gonna cry? Are you in love with her?
Oh, that's a manifest absurdity. I like her, that's all. Because she's sweet and juicy and substantial. Anyway, I don't think that's a fair question. No matter what I say, I'll be wrong.
That doesn't mean it's not a fair question. It just means you're wrong.
You're fired. Get lost. Scram!
But what about... Oh, okay! Jeez.
Cuddles.
You don't have to get tough.
That's not the way you use a blackjack. How many times?
That's the way I use a blackjack, baby. How many times have I told
Are you all right,
that?
Dougie?
What do you know about the struggle between good and evil?
All I know is that I bet on evil every time. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Let me help you up, Dougie.
I'm all right.
What about me, Mr. Trouble? Are you going to blackjack me?
You're married to him, aren't you?
Yes, but...
Out.
Hey, now wait a minute. You owe us for that last painting.
Pay her, Cuddles.
What's going on around here?
You're just a depressed lady. Snap out of it.
Probably too much whipped cream.
Here, that's 10,000.
10,000?
Don't worry about counting it on your way out. You might trip and fall down the stairs, accidentally.
Can Jean-Luc give us a ride?
Just Google to the motel.
What?
You mean Uber to the motel, sweetie.
What's the difference?
10,000 what?
I know what will fix you up. A nice latte.
That sounds good. But in this neighborhood, there's only a Starbucks.
Now what?
Well, never mind.
Have the driver go get a decent latte, that's all.
Short, double, 2%.
Bring me a short, double, 2% latte pronto. And it better be good. Over.
Who are you people? How did you get in here? Where did Hallie and Douglas go?
They took a powder.
I thought they were my friends.
No, they weren't your friends. Mr. Trouble paid them to infiltrate your life.
It was Cuddles' idea. I'm the notorious gangster known as Mr. Trouble.
Mr. Bubble?
And I'm Cuddles.
If you call me Mr. Bubble one more time, you'll never live to paint again.
Suits me. But what are you doing here? What do I have to do with you? Did you come here to kill me? I know I'm not a good artist, but how does that affect you? There are plenty of mediocre painters around. Surely you can't be bothered about killing every one of us.
You're not getting the picture, sister.
You weren't a problem until you stopped painting, you see?
Huh?
You were one of my most successful ventures.
Mr. Trouble decided to invest in art, diversify his holdings. His son-in-law, by a previous marriage, who's a plumber and also happens to have a degree in art history, mentioned your work to him. Remember that night you thought there were rats in the loft? That was Mr. Trouble and me looking at your work.
I have a lot of various investments. Some are even legitimate. I'm creating the first ever all-electric car demolition derby, just as one example. Things like that.
Things like demolition derbies and art?
I hired Cuddles because she also has a degree in art history and chemistry, and also the business of art, and also because she did jail time for forging art and assault. And she's also built for speed.
That's right.
She took the wind right out of my mouth. Ah! And we've been inseparable ever since.
So nice. So romantic.
Cuddles immediately ascertained that there would be a big market in Eastern Europe for your work. And she was right. Your paintings sell for anywhere between $30,000 and $95,000 depending on the size.
And best of all, it's all legitimate business. But first we had to get you to supply us continuously with new work, at the lowest possible cost. Mr. Trouble is very cost-conscious, very shrewd.
Shrewd.
So we hired that loser husband and wife team. I should have known better. I found them selling counterfeit Bibles door to door.
Husband and wife?
Tried to introduce them to the big time. That's what I get.
But he's 30 years older than her. Wait, what?
Don't blame yourself, baby. They were very good reproductions. No one could tell them from the real thing. Except for George.
George always knows.
Who's George again? Did you mention him already? I forget.
He's the foremost counterfeit Bible expert on the West Coast.
So, sister, are you gonna make more paintings or not?
I think it was Narcissus. When he woke up, he looked and saw his reflection in the water, and he fell in love with it. Then I don't know what happened to him.
Let that be a lesson to all of us.
I think I understand. You would make it worth my while this time around, I imagine.
Of course, there's plenty to go around. No reason you shouldn't get yours.
No reason anymore, you mean? And all I had to do was stop painting. And then the world opened up. I started to see clearly. I started to understand.
And now, all you have to do is start painting again.
You'll still understand and see, of course, but you'll have a lot of money. In fact, we were looking at having your work forged so we could sell more than one of each. If we go forward with that, you can have part of that action, too. Right, doll baby?
Well, all right. I guess so. If you say so, Winky Winkums.
That's right.
I don't think so.
What?
What? Perhaps you don't understand.
Put that away. You can't beat someone into making art, I don't think.
You don't know. I bet you never tried.
Anyway, not interested. Goodbye.
Strange as a Cadillac with one fin.
I seem to have misplaced the door.
We'll be back.
There has to be a better way. Who is it?
It's Harold the plumber.
Oh.
Hi. Who are they?
Prisoners of the dark mechanical age who refuse to make their escape into the light of the digital orgy.
That woman, she has the trappings of beauty, but there is so much torture in her face.
I'm not doing too well.
Oh. Okay. Well,
What do you want?
I just came to replace the O-ring.
The O-ring?
Yes.
Oh, the kitchen sink. The O-ring. I remember it now.
Is Haley here?
No, she was never here.
Oh. So you remember now?
I remember. The kitchen is over there.
I remember.
That's a lot of tools.
Heavy.
They look it.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see here.
Infinity is the same as an instant, isn't it? Pretty sure.
Let's see. Okay, where's the O-ring?
Where's the O-ring? I thought you had it.
I thought you had it.
I don't have it.
It's because you didn't order it.
Now what?
One of us will have to order it.
That has the ring of truth to it.
Okay, I'll do it.
After all, you are the plumber. I mean, in a manner of speaking.
Speaking of that, what have you been working on lately? I don't see any new canvases.
No, nothing.
Too bad. I like seeing what you've been working on.
Do you have a relative called...
Yeah. But, yeah.
It's
Why?
stupid. I got away with it for this long, but no longer. Were you always a plumber?
No, I drove a cab. I waited on tables, framed houses, made change in a laundromat, things like that. I once made breakfast for Jack Sharkey.
You want a beer?
Sure. Did you know that every time you haunt for Jesus, it takes a year off your time in purgatory? So, if you have, say, 10,000 years to spend in purgatory before you get to heaven, and you haunt for Jesus 1,000 times, then you can go straight to heaven. Of course, it matters how loud your horn is and how long you honk.
That's interesting. Where'd you pick that up?
Well, for a long time, I thought it was common knowledge, but then it came to my attention that not everyone knew, that it's not as common as I thought. I guess a plumber and a painter aren't that different. Both people are trying to do something that can change people's lives for the better.
I don't want to live in just 3 dimensions, or even just 4 dimensions.
How many do you want to live in?
How many do you have?
What are you going to do?
I don't want anything to do with anything anymore, or anyone, or anywhere, anyway, or anyhow. I'm going to paint.
Paint? Paint what? Something small? What are you going to paint?
That wall. It's peeling. I'm going to paint it yellow.
I can help you.
Okay. There are all kinds of things happening in my mind behind my back.
That's obvious.
But you knew that. And you'll order the O-ring.
It's not the O-ring.
I don't want anything to do with anything anymore, or anyone, or anywhere, anyway, or anyhow.
I just wanted to talk with you more.
As long as we understand each other.
This has been a dramatic audio presentation of the Stephen Less Studio, starring Anthony Sherritt as Mr. Trouble, June Pesky as Cuddles, Richard Clarke Larsen as Douglas, Ulka Simone Mohanty as Haley, Summera Howell as Holly, and Steve Callahan as Harold the Plumber. I'm your host, Marcia Stokel. Visit thestephenlessstudio.com for more. Copyright 2023 by Stephen Less, all rights reserved.